Good morning, guys. Welcome to Thermomix Adventures. Lisa here. Hey, look, today I'm going to show you a new accessory for your Thermomix. Now, it's not yet available, so hold on tight, but I want to introduce you to the Thermomix sensor. Now, this little tool, pretty cool. Thanks, Thermomix. I earned it just before Christmas and it came just after Christmas, which is why I'm here to show you it. Is great for cooking if you find your oven is a little hit and miss. Sometimes it cooks good inside cakes and baking and roasts and stuff, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's also great if you're a distracted cook. Okay, me. It's great if you just think you fail at baking because things don't come out the way you hope. You know, the banana bread comes out soggy, those sorts of things. It's also great if you've got a smoker or a barbecue and you like your meat a certain way. It takes the guesswork out of it and you don't need a Thermomix to use it. It pairs with the Thermomix, so you can use it with the Thermomix, but you can also use it through the app. So come today with me. I'm going to make a carrot cake. I'm going to show you some tips to using it and just give you a bit of idea about what it does. Just bear with me. I'm new to it as well. All right, do say hi if you're watching on today as well. Let me know you're there. So this is the sensor. It comes in this cool little control device, which is actually, control's the wrong word. I guess it's like a magnifier type device. It makes the signal a bit stronger so that it can talk further. It is also magnetized, so when you put something in the oven, you can stick it on a cool point on your oven or on the smoker, which is where I had it yesterday doing some meat next to the barbecue. As long as it's not hot, it's magnetic, so it sticks. Pretty cool. This is a recharging station, so it's got a couple of little batteries in the back that you probably will need to charge every 12 months. Not charge, but get new ones every couple of 12 months. Hey, Amy, lovely to have you on. And then it's got inside the sensor prong. Now, it does look a lot like your meter. So for those of you who had the meter in the past, which I still have and I still love, this looks a lot like that. However, the meter can't do baking stuff. So it's not going to help on your breads and your doughs and your banana breads and those sorts of things, all the things, all right? So we are going to see, I believe, a collection come out in a couple of months' time with over 100 recipes where this is going to take the guesswork out. But I'm going to show you today on the carrot cake how it works, okay? So this lives in there. You stick it on the fridge or wherever it's close. You also install the app on your phone. That means if you don't have your Thermomix or it's a non-Thermomix recipe, it's a manual recipe, you can still do it on the Thermomix if you got one, but say hubby or your partner's going to use it for the smoker, they can just use the app on the phone. It's pretty cool. They can choose what, if they're using the smoker, they can choose what meat. They can say, I want it. It comes up as standard to the dietary standards of what meat should be cooked at. But you can pick on the slider. You can go up or down from that as well. So when you want your meat, your chicken to be a little bit more cooked, you can slide it up and say that as well. And then your phone, of course, dingles at you when it's done, as does, I think, your Thermomix. So let's get onto the carrot cake and I'll show you how this works. So we'll go to my week because I've got it put in there. There we go, carrot cake. So there are 3 collections that are in English at the moment on your cookie do. Hello, Gail, Happy New Year. 3 collections on there already that are sensor-based recipes. They're not all Australian, so you'll have to change your filters if you haven't set your filters as standard to include US, UK, and the Canada. All right, so there is 3 there to choose from. There's another one coming, as I said, with over 100 recipes. I think they've taken the top hits of cookie dough that people use, that the sensor could be used in, and they've tested it and put that into action, which I just love. I can't wait for that to come. Because as I said, I'm the distracted cook, okay? I'm the one who's like, nah, has that been in for half an hour? Did I put the timer on? Did I not? Can't remember. This will tell me exactly when the inside temperature is cooked. How good's that? So, hello Tina, great to see you on. So, let's get started. So, of course, when we get to a recipe, we can scroll down. And by the way, if you have a TM5 or a 31, of course, it's not going to integrate into the screen. That's okay. You can still use the app. All right. So, as I said, even if you don't own a Thermomix, you can use the sensor. So, start cooking. Preheat your oven. Haven't done that, but I'll do that later. You're not going to get to see the oven part because it's out there anyway. Line a cake, 20 centimeter cake tin with baking paper. So I've got my rose gold springform from the mix shop. This is ancient now. I reckon this is about 5 or 6 years old, this rose gold tin. It's got some loving on it. Like, you can see that it's stained in a few places, but gosh, they're great quality. So if you're ever looking for new bakeware, I'd highly suggest the mix shop. And of course, before you check out in the mix shop, please make sure my name or your consultant is displayed. Okay, we get a small kickback on that. If you don't put us down, we get nothing. Okay, it costs you the same regardless. It's just for us, we get a little bonus, which is nice. So please remember to always check. It's just above the big orange checkout button. It says add your consultant here in little green writing. So click there and find our names. Okay, 300 grams of carrots peeled and cut into pieces. I don't know about you, but I never peel carrots unless I'm roasting them or unless they're really old and manky. I always put in the tops. See these little top things? If rabbits can eat them, we can, right? If it's moldy, I'll draw a line. I'll cut them off, right? But if they're not, chucks it in. And I certainly don't peel them. I do wash them if they're store-bought. I do that. So in with our carrots. Now remember, when we're doing things like banana cakes and apple cakes and stuff, don't go heavy-handed on this fresh produce style stuff in there. The reason being is your eggs cannot keep up. And if your eggs are too low, you will never get it to cook through. If you've ever made a banana cake or a carrot cake or an apple cake or a sweet potato cake, and you've got that layer of rawness on the bottom, and you're like, hey, I extended the cook time for an extra 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it still didn't cook. It's because the egg to flour to fresh stuff was not quite right, and the eggs can't solidify. There's literally not enough of them to make it go hard. Don't throw those cakes out. Slice them, freeze them. They make amazing puddings. Turn them into bread and butter puddings. Like, put custard on them as desserts. Do never waste your Thermomix food, okay? If you're not sure what to do with it, send me a message. Lisa, I made this and it didn't work because of, I don't know why. Why didn't it work? And then what do I do with it, okay? Never throw out your food, all right? The food is too expensive to waste. So please never throw it out. 282, that's okay. 3 large eggs. I don't know what my chickens are thinking lately. Let me just show you some eggs. Look at this. Poor chickie chick. So, you know the tip of breaking your eggs on your handle of your bowl so that it kind of gives it a clean break. I find these large ones that these chickens are laying at the moment, they're just so much white in them. They're never double yolkers. I wish they were double yolkers. They never are. But yeah. In goes the last one. See, they're always just full of white. White, white, and white. But my chickens have been on strike. I don't know if they don't like the wet and the heat and everything, but they're going to have to buy eggs soon, and that's terrible. What do I feed them for? Anyway, and they're young, so they can't say that it's because they're... Now, see how my screen's not responding? You guys probably saw yesterday my Thermomix video around keeping your Thermomix clean, refreshing it for the new year. You can see on the screen I've got some egg white. Can you guys see that? So I'm just going to wipe it off. That is why it didn't respond to my finger. Not to mention I'm actually standing behind my Thermomix, so my angles are a little wrong when I'm back here. Because, oh, look at that, there's some more egg white. So just, if you find your fingers aren't responding to the screen, or it's not responding to you more so, just give it a wipe down. Simple as that. So, goodbye timer, get out the way. There we go. Brown sugar. You guys know I don't keep brown sugar. I also don't like using that much quantity of sugar. I'm going to do something a little risky, and I'm going to halve it in this recipe. Okay? It might make it, well, it's definitely going to make it less sweet. But I reckon, I don't like going over 100 grams anyway in a recipe of sugar. I'll push to 170 today. And it can sometimes be, I'll be honest with you, it can sometimes mess up the science of the recipe. The texture might not be as fluffy as it might usually be. But I just don't like having that much sugar in my food. Or my kids' food. You can see the scales are bouncing around there. I've actually got a lid here pushing on it. There we go. So I'm going to pull that down. I'll give you a bit of feedback in the comments later today once it's out of the oven. I'll let you know whether it worked with the 170, whether I can notice anything barring the fact that it's not as sweet with that. I'm not going to risk completely changing it. I can hear a few of you already asking, Lisa, what about if you use honey, or what about if you use rice malt? then you're changing the structure significantly. You're putting more liquid content into it rather than the granular content. So I wouldn't completely flip that on end. I've even got apple paste in the fridge at the moment because over Christmas, I don't think I've shared this with you, but I accidentally froze 8 kilos of apples. My kids go through 2 kilos, they go through 6 kilos a week of apples, 2 kilos of each variety that they like. And so there's 3 types, and they were put in our camping fridge, but somebody had set it to freezer. So thankfully, when I had visitors here over Christmas, they kindly said that they would actually peel them all and I could cook them. So a lot of them got cooked up and put into pies, and I sent them home with all the visitors. I sent home all these, I think we made 5 apple pies, and then the last ones I just pureed. So I do have that, and I think if I added that in, I'm going to have to up the eggs for the same reason I mentioned earlier. So I'm not confident enough in the kitchen to completely change this recipe, but I'm going to give you this year my thinking behind things so that you understand why, can I just put honey into this? Will that work? I wouldn't risk it, okay? And I'm certainly not going to risk it on a live video and say do that, because it's highly likely that it won't set. You'll end up with a gooey cake. Might bother you, might not, all right? So there's the sugar. There's some thinking. I forgot to bring this in with me. I was going to bring in some coconut cream. I'm going to call out to one of the kids in a second to grab that. Hold tight, guys. I forgot to bring that in. Hey, boys. Can you bring me a can of coconut cream, please, from the storeroom? All right. They're sorting that for me. So I'm making it dairy-free, okay? I do actually have some leftover yogurt, normal yogurt in the fridge. I was tempted to use. I do have a little bit of leftover cream I've got in there as well. I thought about using, but actually at the moment we've got some funny tummies after Christmas and stuff in our home, so I'm going to keep it dairy-free. So I'm going to actually use coconut cream, which is something we use often. Sometimes I make it, but in the busyness of this season, I have been buying it in bulk and using that instead. Here we go. Thank you so much, buddy. Very, very great help. Being that normally sour cream is soured a little bit, you could add some vinegar. I honestly don't think in this recipe that's going to make an ounce of difference, so I'm not going to bother. Now, if you currently are buying coconut milk, 2024 is the year to stop and actually buy coconut cream and water it down 50% to 50% as needed. Okay, so there is no need to buy coconut milk because it is actually, if you read the can of the pure stuff, it's actually watered down. It's water and coconut cream, okay? So save yourself some money, buy the cream, and then just water it down as required. All right, sunflower oil. That's what I mean this was dairy-free. Now, if you don't have sunflower oil, please don't reach for the olive oil. It will taste too strong. Grapeseed oil would work. And I'm going to say veggie oil, but I say that with clenched teeth. Veggie oil is not fantastic for us. So, if you've got it, I guess, and you've got no other option, use it, but it's not fantastic. All right, that's close enough. I buy, this is sunflower oil, high oleic, and I buy it from Honest to Goodness online, and obviously we use that predominantly for mayonnaise. 95% of that will go to mayonnaise. The other thing you could use is you could use some coconut oil. All right, so coconut oil at this time of year where it's completely liquidized could work. That would be my alternative as well, okay? That would be my preference over veggie oil. All right, next up, wholemeal flour. I am using just gluten-free plain flour, okay, because we're gluten-free. So in that goes. Somebody did not open this one very far. Look at that. Not sure how you get flour out of that. And obviously it's not wholemeal. I'm not fussed about it being wholemeal or not. But, and you know what, so with that, if you're at home and you're going to make this afternoon, don't dash to the shop and buy wholemeal flour. Use plain flour if you normally use plain flour. So, it will work perfectly fine. Nutritionally, if you read the nutritional values, it'll change it a little bit, but that's okay. I really think I need new glasses this year, guys. I'm having trouble seeing my screen up there with my cameras on it. Okay, next up, we're nearly done. Bicarb soda. That's over, did I get that out or did I not get that out? It's over here. Let me grab that. A little out of practice, leaving things around. All right. 1 teaspoon of bicarb. In that goes. Just don't go too heavy on bicarb. It leaves an interesting taste otherwise in your mouth. It's not very pleasant. You'll notice often with the recipes that have apples and bananas and pumpkin and sweet potato, you'll often see they preference bicarb over baking powder. Okay, it's just to do with the chemical reactions and how they happen and how they produce gas and how it makes your food rise. Okay, so important you don't swap that over though. Okay, nutmeg. I'm actually all out of nutmeg. Don't love nutmeg anyway. Cinnamon. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I got this cool little teaspoon, tablespoon measure over the festive season. And one end, it can sit beautifully on your bench. It's kind of pottery kind of stuff. And one end is your teaspoon and one end your tablespoon. I thought, oh, I like that. Go for functional. I'm all for things that are multi-purpose. All right, next up, salt to finish off. And then we're going to blend this together. And then we're going to show you how to use this sensor. How much does it say? Half a teaspoon. On with the lid. I'm gently with this glass jar at the moment. You guys probably can't see on the camera. I'll show you under this one. I used it at Christmas time a lot, but look at that. It's got a brake line in it. And it's got about 1 centimetre. It goes all the way around, barring 1 centimetre. So I think I'm on borrowed time with my salt container this year. But it's okay. I don't use my pepper one very often. It's not actually pepper. It's like one of those infused peppers, and I barely ever use it. So it might be time that I actually toss that out and put salt in that one instead. Okay, let's finish this off. Next, 15 seconds, speed 5. And this is your time to clean up the kitchen and the dash for and I just realised it was a spatula. Alright, my kitchen's a bit AWOL at the moment. I've got things in the storeroom at the other end of the house. We actually predominantly cook out on the deck. All the dishwasher and everything's out on the deck, and here I am squished into the spare room. Alright, scrape down the sides with the spatula. It's actually not done too badly in there. This is the Flex Core spatula from the mix shop. Okay, do love it. I've been through a few of them. They do chop on the blades if you go the wrong way, like any spatula will. But yeah, let's see what we do next. Next, insert the measuring cup. It's going to do one more blitz. Make sure it just gets it all in. 5 seconds, speed 5. Did we blitz the carrots up at the beginning of this recipe? I don't even remember. Is that terrible? Yeah, we must have. It looks like chunks of carrot, little chunks of carrot in there. Yeah, there's no hunks of carrot. That's okay. Alright, let's see how this sensor works. Transfer the butter. So, let's put this aside for a second. 20 centimetre cake tin. Obviously, if you change the size of this cake tin, the sensor's really going to be helpful because it's actually going to give you control over, like it's going to give you sight, sorry, not control. It's going to give you the insight into the temperature inside. So if you decide to put this in a square container, a rectangle container, and it's therefore a bit higher, often you're then guessing, oh, how long until it's going to be cooked, and you have to insert a skewer and decide if it's cooked. The sensor's going to give you that insight if you change the sizing. Say you decide to make a couple of mini ones to give to somebody. You know, you've got that control to poke it in and know that it's cooked inside, which I just love. I love that whole, because there's nothing worse than going, oh, I hope this is cooked. Is it cooked? I'm not sure. All right, next. Okay, here we go. Here's my part about the sensor. It says, and by the way, does that not look totally yummy? All right. It says, place a holder on the rim of the baking tin and insert the sensor into the center of the mixture without touching the base of the tin. And there's a video. How cool is that? Let's have a look. Gotta be honest, I haven't watched this before, so it's new to me as well. Hopefully my internet can keep up. So underneath here, it's got a little video that's showing us what to do. It's showing us to put that on the side of the tin. Under here is a little rubber stopper. So this rubber stopper comes out, and then as per the picture, we have two ways of inserting it. There's actually a way where it's angled. I'll see if I can show you up here. See up there, there's two holes. One is a quite, if I go in, where's the camera? If I go in this way, it's a very, can you guys see that? Slight angle. Okay, I'm just gonna, oh, that was the rolled oats. I'm just gonna slide it sideways. You guys see how that's a very slight angle? If I go the other hole, up the back here, it's got nearly the, like, it's that angle. Okay, sorry, there we go. Okay, so two different angles to choose from. So we're going to go to the diagonal one as per the picture. So we just put this on the side. I'm just moving my body out the way so you can see past my dark shirt. And then we put this in until it goes quite a long way down. However, there's a little mark on the sensor. So right here at my fingernail, there's an indent. I don't think the camera will, you can see it. Look at that, the camera will show you. That has to be about 1 centimetre on the outside of your food. That's to allow it to go up. Oh, hello, Andrea. Lovely to have you on. Hey, Sandra. Thanks, Tina, for letting her know. Hey, Anna. Happy New Year. So that little thing there has to be 1 centimetre outside so that it can allow for it to go in. So if it's going in the end of your bread, on 1 centimetre out, okay, so it allows for that to go in. Now in meat and stuff, I think it goes all the way in because meat's not going to grow and expand, right? So it needs to be able to sense that as well. This end of it actually reads ambient temperature. So in our oven, it'll tell that it's consistent for us, which is kind of nice if you've got an oven that's hit and miss. But the other thing that's important with this is it predicts the time. So it can then do the science and the maths for you and go, okay, so your oven's 180, the internal of your temperature is 30, probably 30 something degrees. It's going to take 45 minutes to cook your cake and you get an approximate time. Okay, if you haven't got this, say this is wrapped in something, say you've got a lid on it, then you're not going to get a good read on the approximate time. It'll still work, it just won't give you that time to finish. All right, so anyway, this goes in. And I go down. Don't want it to touch the base of the tin because the base of the tin is going to be significantly hotter than the food. So I'm just having a look at that. I'm just having a feel as well to see. There we go. It's about 1 centimetre and I'm not touching the base. That's what I wanted. Okay. So that's now sitting there beautifully and nicely. All right. Close that little message. Let's go to, I think we go next. There we go, look at that. So now it says send settings to the Thermomix sensor. So it's got the current temperature you can see in there is 28 degrees. That's the inside temperature of my cake because it must be about that in the atmosphere right now. And we're going for 96. 96 degrees is the inside cook. Now, for those of you watching overseas, I know there are people watching from other countries. This is all in Celsius. If you have available a sensor and you normally deal in Fahrenheit, yours will obviously be in Fahrenheit, okay? I go send, and then it says all set, tap next to continue. And it's saying at the moment it's approximately 40, approximately, that little approximate symbol there, okay? Go next, set the timer and bake for 45 minutes, 180. So they've actually put this instruction in though, not for me, but if you don't have a sensor yet. Okay, so if you don't have a sensor, it's not gonna stop you making a carrot cake, this particular recipe. It's still gonna give you the basic instructions as well. Okay, and that's great if you've got an oven you trust and you love and you know how it goes and you're keen baker and all that sort of stuff. The sensor may not be for you for baking. You might still need it for meat if you like your meat to be cooked a certain way. Okay, but for those like me, I love it so far. The couple of times I've used it so far, I've used it in the smoker, I've used it on the barbecue, I've used it in baking 3 times now. I've done scrolls, bread rolls, and not bread rolls, sorry, a loaf of bread. And the other day we did cake. What cake did we do? Wasn't banana bread. Oh, the lemon cake. And now this. So I've used it a few times since it arrived just after Christmas. So that's cool. And then it says as well here, set the timer and bake for 45 minutes, then cover with baking paper and bake until the sensor indicates that it's done. Now that's because you're going to get it too brown on the top if you don't cover it. I never cover it with baking paper. I just we love golden tops here, okay? Monitor the status via the Cooking Center. Now, the Cooking Center is the app, all right? So, Cooking Center, when you get the sensor, you scan the QR code, it goes to the Play Store or the Apple Store, App Store, whatever that's called, and you can download the Cooking Center, okay? It's a little app with a house with the blades in it, and I'll just put this under here. Can't wait till I'm in my other space. How do I make this up the right way for you guys? That way. And you can see there, you've got the sensor come up. It says it's 27 degrees. It says it's going to be approximately 40. And it's matching to the Thermomix as well. Okay, so just amazing. This technology just is going to take the guesswork out of cooking. Which, hey, busy world that we live in, the more reminders we can have so that we don't burn our food and those things, the better, yeah? Anyway, so that's it. I will take a photo of the final product. It says at the end, the cake is cooked if it springs back when pressed with the fingertip, or in our case, the alarm's going to tell us that it's cooked. Cool in the tin for 30 minutes, then remove and leave to cool completely on a wire rack. Do you know why we do that? Just a little FYI, in case you don't know. The reason we leave our food in the tin for sometimes 5, in this case 30, because it's a softer, moister cake, is to let it set properly. The reason we remove it, and it's so important you do this, is so that it doesn't sweat. There is nothing worse than leaving your beautiful loaf of bread in the tin overnight, only to come back in the morning and it's wet and soggy on those 3 sides from the tin. So that's why you'll notice, like, every baking recipe tells you to actually remove it from, okay, after 5, or it could be 30 minutes in this case. Not normally more than 30. The 30 is kind of the max. You never leave something sitting in it before it has to be removed, so that it doesn't sweat and go gross, all right? And then enjoy with icing. Let's be real, we're not going to ice it here. Nothing lasts that long at our house. Mine will come out the oven, wait for half an hour, I'll lift it out, I'll slice it, the whole lot will be done, okay? We don't ice things around here, but if you'd like to ice it, it's got a beautiful cream cheese icing. Obviously, it's no longer dairy-free. You can make beautiful cashew and macadamia cream cheese equivalents, okay? So if you do want those sorts of recipes, I do have them somewhere from years ago when we were completely dairy-free. So if it is something where you're like, hey, you know what, I do want to keep going down this dairy-free path, that's part of my plan for 2024, let me know. I'll dig them out of my computer. They're there somewhere, where you make the most beautiful icings from macadamias. Macadamias are the closest thing I can find to the dairy-free alternative taste, but otherwise cashews are beautiful. You can make beautiful cheesecakes with them and things like that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it from me today. If I can help you with your Thermomix, reach out. If you haven't got a TM6 on the bench and you'd like to get one, please don't hesitate. If you live in Australia, I'd love to help you. It's a $150 gift card coming with your Thermomix until Monday the, what's that date? 15th of January. Just in case, I know a lot of you guys watch these on replays, so that's why I'm putting a date on it for you guys so that you don't get a bit confused later on. So Thermomix in Australia generously at times add things to purchase, like when you purchase your TM6. So not all the time, but at the moment, $150 gift card to spend in the mix shop. It's got 3 months on it to spend, so that you can go buy other bits and pieces, and maybe by the time 3 months comes around, I don't know if or when they're releasing this sensor, but it could be something you're getting a sensor with your gift card. But otherwise, guys, thanks for a great video today. That was lovely, lots of fun and lovely to share that with you. And yes, Gail, I'll grab you that alternative recipe. That's not a problem at all. And otherwise, the other thing I must mention, $50 referrals. I keep forgetting to mention this. If you have a friend or family member looking to get a Thermomix, let me know first, because I can send you a link, or I can create a link for you, so that when they purchase, you get a $50 mix shop voucher, which is pretty sweet. Thank you, Thermomix, for offering that for our raving fans who go and tell people about Thermomix and share the Thermomix love with people. So do let me know, preferably first, or make sure the person who's inquiring of me tells me that you sent them, so that I can set that up, because it's lovely to be able to give you something in return for sharing that Thermomix love. But otherwise, guys, that's it for me. Do share this video with friends and family who have a Thermomix, or maybe they need the ease of a Thermomix, or maybe they love carrot cake, or maybe they need to understand what this sensor is. Maybe they don't have a Thermomix, but they've always wished they baked better and more confidently, because this, as I said, it can work via the app without a Thermomix. So they can put it in, they can make a cake traditional way, the hard way. That's okay. They can make it that way in a bowl and then put it into a dish and have a sensor and use the app to use it. How cool is that, that it can work for those who don't yet have a Thermomix as well? Otherwise, guys, have a fantastic day. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in a video again tomorrow. Be sure to keep an eye out. I will put a photo up, of the final product. And if you're watching replays over on YouTube, the cover and the final image are the actual real deal as well. But otherwise, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.